Hey guys, welcome to the week that was. It is a little bit late, only because we've been running out of time. We've had a lot of rain here, haven't we? And the hunt has been very badly affected by flooding and everything like that. And we've experienced it here. We've had gazebos smashing down, chunks of wood everywhere.
Russell's learnt to swim.
Russell has learnt to swim. We've had to rescue Russell and put him in the Sally Port to get him out of the water. It's been pretty torrential here. So anyway, we didn't get to it on the weekend, so Janien is behind the camera today.
Yes, I'm saving everyone's day by bringing the week that was. Yay, Janien.
You know what? She can nag just as much as Tani. Both girls are on equal par. However, Janien is actually going on holidays as of
Today. Thursday.
And where are you going, Janien?
China.
She's going to China.
China
She's doing the Great Wall of China.
Terracotta Warriors.
And is it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
2 weeks. I'm having 3 weeks off because I need a week after it to get over it.
She's got a lot of walking ahead of her, and I'm laughing because I just know that she doesn't cope with a lot of walking.
Early mornings.
And early mornings. So Janien
do
doesn't start until 10 o'clock because that suits her, because she is you're up pretty late.
I like nights.
Yeah, so
mornings.
I can call Janien at 10 o'clock at night. She'll be up and going and ready and things like that. But if I ask her at 6 o'clock in the morning, she'll be snoring her head off.
Gosh, yes.
So anyway, this is the week that was, guys. This week we took a surrender, and it was a bit of a special case in regards to the surrender. The lady was entering into a shelter for domestic violence with her children, and unfortunately she couldn't take her dog, and she had been trying everywhere and nobody could assist her. And you know, it's always hard when it's a domestic violence situation. I've been in domestic violence when in my younger years, before I even met Don, and I know that sometimes...
Well, I hope it was before
no,
Don.
It wasn't Don.
Came out wrong.
Yeah, that came out wrong. And I know that sometimes you stay longer because you feel that you can't go, you know what I mean? There's something holding you back. And I know that was certainly a case for me. When I was interstate, I didn't know anybody and everything like that. So I always feel for somebody that has pets and they can't get their children into safety, or they can't leave because they're worried about the children, because quite often that anger actually transplants onto the animals in their absence. And so in this particular case, we did take a little dog called Chilli. Well,
Spicy!
Oh, yes. Chilli lives up to his name. Chilli's a little boy. And
some people would have already seen Chilli on the naughtier and naughtier list.
On the naughty and naughtier list. So when Chilli came in and I went to say hello to Chilli, Chilli was lunging at me, and the owner literally had to have her hands around his mouth so he couldn't bite me. And I was like, oh, is he good with strangers normally? And she said, yes, normally he's really good. I'm like, oh.
Must have just been you, Dee.
Well, that's what you think, isn't it? But if you have a look at some videos, you'll certainly see that I was not the only one a target. So every person here copped a bit of Chilli love.
He has a very good growl.
And he lunges and he snaps. And anyway, so she said to me, what do I do? And I said, look, you look after you look after your kids, and leave that little thing for me. So I have been working with Chilli. So one of the things I always do when we have an aggressive dog or a shutdown dog is we bring them into the office, don't we? So that we can work with them. We can get them out all the time for walks, and we're cuddling them and we're trying to work with them, unless they're super aggressive and then they've got to stay in our dangerous dog runs. In regards to Chilli, if you didn't go near him, he was fine. But if you went near him, that's when he acted up, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So,
He told you to back off.
He did. Now, Chilli thought he was a bit of a cat, and he likes to sleep on ledge.
Yes, he's very much a cat. He is cat-sized.
He is. So anyway, he managed to get up onto our desk, and he managed to go over to the counter window. The problem with Chilli is he likes to give you gifts. So they weren't pleasant gifts.
No.
So enjoy a little bit of Chilli time. But we have worked with him. He's doing well. I've now introduced him to other staff, and everyone's getting a little bit of Chilli love. But one of the things that I actually did to get around Chilli was I introduced him to Huxley.
Oh, who's all love.
Huxley is all about love. I swear he's a gypsy dog. You know, he's this, he's that.
He's perfect. He's gorgeous.
Rubbing himself all over you. You'll see a video of Huxley's almost doing a somersault on Don's back of Don's neck. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to take a chance and we're going to introduce the boys. It went very well. And what I found is that Chilli got confidence from Huxley. And so we introduced them together. They are now housed together and they've become the best buds.
Oh, they're almost a bonded pair.
They are. They sleep together. They eat out of the
Same bowl. Yes.
They are just really enjoying each other's company. And what it's done for Chilli, he watches how Huxley interacts with us and he's picking up on those cues and he's copying Huxley. I can go in there and he's all over me. He's now sitting up on other people's laps. Janien, you can pick him up now.
Oh, no problem. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been a little bit of a process with Chilli. Is he adoption ready just yet? Not yet, but he's nearly there. We've just got a little bit of more time to do with Chilli. Now we also introduced him to Grumbles. I had to rescue Grumbles because Grumbles doesn't back off, and Chilli doesn't back off. So I had to swoop up poor old Grumbies and said, this is not a fight, Grumbies, that you can win, because Chilli was just at him and at him and at him, and I thought, okay, that's enough. You know, let's get you up into the air. And you know what? Grumbles went to attack me because he was wanting to attack Chilli. He wanted to put Chilli in his place, and instead he sort of lashed out at me. But
oh, that sounds so un-Grumbles like.
Oh, the two spices together. Yay. But anyway, enjoy.
Good morning. Hello, are you Chilli? Hello, darling. Hello. You're right next to my chair. I gotta sit there. Hello, baby. Hello. Hello. Okay. Am I getting too close? Oh, this is fun. Okay. Oi. It's all right. This one loves to sit on windowsills. I reckon he'd love to be up on the lounge. You little prince, it's yours.
So I know it's old news, but Sunday Sangas, we did barbecue steak. So we won a voucher at the raffles for some meat at a butcher. And John and I decided that we would go to the butcher's and buy $40 worth of meat. And we cut it up for the dogs, and the guys all had a steak sandwich. One of the things that I also did when John and I went on holidays, I saw a little cupcake maker. And I thought, you know what a nice little thing for them. They never get that sort of stuff. So now we're starting to incorporate some cupcakes and some treats for the dogs. Like they're going to get a sandwich and they're going to get a dessert. It was so good that we couldn't help but eating. But you guys have seen the video. If not, go back to Sunday and you'll be able to see the Sunday Sangers in its entirety.
Oh, I did watch that.
You did?
I'll let a hint out. Dee, Don, Tani ate just as much as the dogs.
We did.
Little piggies they were.
We did.
I saw that. Yeah, I thought poor dogs. And they were like, oh, we'll keep this for later. We'll have afternoon tea with this. I thought, oh my goodness.
I did try and save you one, but you don't come back until Tuesday. So it wouldn't have been as fresh.
That's all right.
So I'm just going to go with that excuse, Janien. Okay?
All right.
So during the week, we had a school come in to visit, didn't we?
Yes, they've been before with other students.
And who are they, Janien?
They're Aspect High from Metford. They talked to the other kids too, because when I went to the gate, one was like, I'm here for chicken nuggets. And I recall one of the kids before was saying to Russell, KFC.
Oh,
so they obviously do talk about it, which is lovely, the kids.
Look, we always welcome the schools to come in because obviously they're our future pet owners. So it's always good for the schools to come in and have a walk around, meet the animals, ask any questions about the animals. So you usually get that task to take them out, don't you? And they're quite excited, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes. Yeah. This was a big group too.
It was one of the bigger groups, wasn't it?
But unfortunately, we didn't have a lot for them to do this time.
No, rain hampered, and a lot of the animals that when they came in were strays. So obviously we cannot allow them to pull other people's dogs out and take them for a walk or anything like that. So it was a bit of a shorter visit than normal, but the kids still enjoy it.
Yes.
Anyway,
and they go up to the cats too. And again, we didn't have friendly cats really, but they still loved it.
Oh, I think there was little Miss Kitten up there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure little Lizzie was up there and they really enjoyed that. So it's always good to have a school in.
Pat was up there to talk to them anyway.
Yeah. So that was one thing that happened during the week. The second thing, we had a stray cat come in called Fergus.
Oh, that was lovely.
Yes.
Fergus.
So with Fergus, we are expecting some people to collect their dogs up. So basically, these people had found a beautiful ginger boy in an industrial estate. He'd been with them for a little while. Turns out that Fergus had been missing for 2 weeks.
But I'll stop you there, Dee, for a minute, because that morning I listened and Dee was on a phone talking to a lady who had been missing her ginger cat.
Yes. So she reported it missing. She'd been trying everywhere, looking for him everywhere. She couldn't understand. She rang. We didn't have him. And
then this lady turned up with a ginger cat, and I was like, Dee, it can't be.
Yeah, we scanned it. Straight away, the microchip was our missing cat. Now, they were a little bit disappointed in one sense because he really tugged on their heartstrings and they were quite prepared to keep him.
Yes.
But they were happy in the sense that he did have a loving home, which is a very big reminder of why you should microchip your animals.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he came in and we were able to get that microchip, we were able to confirm that this was the missing cat that had been missing for 2 weeks. The other thing is, outside cats are prone to people picking them up and taking them and dumping them in industrial estates.
Yeah.
Some people are never blessed to find their animals again, so it is something that you've really got to weigh up. Yes, cats are allowed to legally roam, but people fall in love with them and keep them. People dump them.
Yep. And
we
worse.
don't want to talk about the worst, but, you know, safeguard them. Keep them at home. Keep them inside. Get yourself an enclosure. Prevent them from escaping. And definitely get them microchipped, because a lot of the times we get cats here that aren't microchipped.
We've got a book full, and to ring us.
Yeah, and to
tell us
absolutely
we've
report
got-
us, because, you know, as soon as someone says, I'm missing my animal, we grab our lost and found book, and which is
That
this book here.
right there. It's very close.
Yes, and we record everything. Now, when something comes in, we go back through that book and we think, hang on, that's ringing a bell to me, and we go back. Especially when people say to us, I haven't had a chance to get my animal microchipped.
Yes.
And we're like, okay, we really highlight that animal has no microchip, because we know at some point an unmicrochipped stray, we're going to get a call about it because they can't return it. Because there are people out in the community that do scan stray dogs and stray cats, and they don't necessarily come into us, but when there's no chip, that's when they come in, and then that's an expensive exercise. First day of a dog undersexed, not microchipped, is $3.59. Cats are even more, because they've got undersexed permits as well as registrations. So it's very costly not to have your animal microchip that could be returned through a vet practice for free or a scanning angel out in the community for free. People don't consider that until it's too late. And then they yell and scream at us that we're revenue raising.
Yeah, we're revenue raisers.
Yeah.
And more for cats, because we can't take cats. So if the cat's not microchipped,
Yes, because they are allowed to legally roam. And now people say, well, why can't you take it if it doesn't have a chip? How many times have we had cats here that the owners have produced paperwork, but they've dropped their microchip? We've had cats that
we do it, yeah.
we've chipped here, gone to adopt them out, and we always do a quick scan. Can't find a chip, we've had to re-chip it before it can go back out again.
Only the other day you were asking, what's going on with Boomer?
Exactly.
Because he had two chips,
Had two
numbers.
chips, and we didn't realise we had to cross-reference the two chips. So, very important. But here's Furkers with his mum.
Oh, such a happy reunion.
It's a good reunion. Alright guys, well, it's only been a short one for the week, and Janine has just said to me, hurry up, I've got to go home and start packing. I've got stuff to be doing.
I leave on Tuesday and I've done nothing.
She hasn't even attempted to start packing
I'm a
yet.
last minute.
Hey?
Last minute for me.
What about your son? Is he a packer?
He's worse than me.
Well, we know where he gets it from.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
your husband's not like that.
Oh, he'd be packed well and surely by now.
Yeah, 100%. So, happy, sad, frustrating.
Which we know it's
Okay,
not
so
happy.
we always end on happy. So, my sad and frustrating is going to be the one thing, and that's going to be liars.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
100%. So, obviously, being an impound facility, we get a lot of people lying to us, and they're not only doing something to their own animal, they could be doing something to a relative, they can be, you know, they lie for various reasons. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 examples.
And it's only been this is only a short week kind of
This
thing.
is only a short week. Okay, so liar pants on fire number 1. I found this kitten in a plastic bag near the cemetery down the road.
The most stunning kitten I've ever seen.
Correct. And she's about 6 months old.
She's gorgeous.
We took it, she was dumped, and we said, well, dumping cases go to RSPCA. I've already been to RSPCA. They said, it's your problem. Okay.
To which we were like, oh, bloody hell, that's not right.
Yeah. Anyway, my spidey senses went up, and I said to Janine, let's call RSPCA. We
Yes.
took the cat because there was just something about this gentleman that told me that the cat wasn't.
And we thought
Better.
someone probably does own this, so we have shared it everywhere because it's a stunner.
Yes. But my concern was
What's he doing
I
with
was
it?
concerned very much for the
Yes.
welfare of this cat, so I took it. So we called RSPCA and they said yes, we did have a gentleman in.
Yeah.
However, he told us he found it on the freeway at
Toronto. Yes.
They told him that he had to take the cat back and let it go where he found it. He said he wasn't going back to Toronto. He'd been down there visiting his partner and he wasn't going back.
Yes.
So he's come up here, told us he's found a cat in a plastic bag at the cemetery at East Maitland.
He knew what to say now.
He knew what to say. We said, where's the plastic bag? He said, oh, RSPCA have got it. RSPCA told us when he came there, it was wearing a collar.
And a bell. Yes. Interesting.
But when the cat came to us, no collar and bell. So when I rang him back up to questioning, he said it was an old thing that had gotten caught and broke.
As
the cat to get the plastic bag off.
Got rid of it, really.
Yeah. Liar, liar, pants on fire, number 1. We also tracked down the alleged girlfriend.
Yes.
Not a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah. So that's lie number 1. Liar number 2. We had a gentleman call to say that he had purchased a Labrador from somebody, paid $700 for the dog, and she's a little bit more hard work. Now they're in their late...
Oh, they were near their 70s.
Near their 70s, and she's a 3-year-old lab. What they found...
She's a typical lab.
She's crazy. Okay.
Typical.
Go for a walk, she nearly pulls his arm out of the socket. Asked if we could help. So, anyway, we put him on our waiting list, and the gentleman was quite frustrated because they were trying to manage a crazy lab, and they reached out to their vet, who also reached out to me while I was on holiday. So I said, yep, look, I'll sort it when I get back. So anyway, I ended up calling the old owner of the lab to get some history on this dog. She's a constant barker. She digs. She chews. She has bad anxiety. She's not good with small dogs. But the poor guy walking her, she's not good with anything. She nearly pulled his arm out of the socket.
Trying to get across the road to them.
Trying to get to them. So, and then told us that they rehomed it for $500. Look, that's got nothing to do with us, with how much they sold her for. But the problem that we've got, had the gentleman been informed of all her quirks, he could have made a informed decision to say, I can manage that. We're home. The anxiety's not going to be an issue because we're home. So she'll be with us anyway. Digging, okay, that's annoying, but we can work with that. Chewing, get her some toys, try and sort that. The barking, maybe if we're home with her all the time, that might settle. At the end of the day, had they been given the full picture, they may have decided not to take her on. Now, we have organised rescue for this girl, and she is going into rescue. But the gentleman should not have been put into that situation. He should not have been blindsided to the point that they couldn't cope. That's not fair. Be honest and own it. So that was liar, liar, pants on fire number 2.
And as it turns out, she is quite good. We did dog test her,
We
and she's
actually
fine.
got him to come in and we tested. What he's confusing is excitement
Yes.
over aggression.
She just wants to go play with those other
Correct.
dogs.
Okay. Liar, liar, pants on fire number 3. We had another lab come in, found in the Curry area through our other council, Cessnock City Council.
Crazy labs.
Crazy lab. In the name of the breeder, who was able to tell us that she rehomed the dog to somebody called Dell from Dungog. No last name, no phone number, no email address, no address, nothing. And I thought, oh my God. So it became a big on investigation for me. Another one I came back from holiday from, isn't it? So anyway, believe it or not,
It's not my fault. I can't help it.
it's her job. in my absence to find these people.
My job is, I feel the pound when Dee's away. I don't know why I do it, but I always do it.
I came back to multiple dumpings.
On Tuesday, I think we had 6 or 8 dogs come in on that one day. The first Tuesday Dee was away. I was like,
I left on Tuesday.
Well, there you go, see?
Yeah.
And then, I was like, the gods know. She's gone. They're all coming in. And the most were mold and most were unchipped.
And I was at Queensland and all I could see is, do you know me? Do you know me? And I'm like, ah! And Don's like, put the phone down. Don't look at it.
Every time I put one up, I'm like, we were
She's
making
gonna
bets
call.
on how soon Dee would call. And then we said, maybe Don's taken it away
But
from
I
you.
did call, didn't I?
Yeah, she did call. Have you done this? Do you want that?
So when I got back, I said to Don,
Some were gone.
not many,
Some were.
but coming back from Queensland, one of them, I said to Don, we need to stop near this property because
Yes.
it was on our way
On
back.
our way.
And
Yes.
Don said, Dee, we're on our way back. And I said, Don, you stop, save me 25 minutes of coming back in the morning. And so I did.
Yes.
And
Successfully.
And I proved that they were her dogs, her 3 dogs.
Yes, 3 of them. Yes.
So anyway, the lab. Dell from Dungog.
Who are you, Dell from Dungog?
Did I find Dell from Dungog?
Dee will find you, Dell from Dungog.
I found Dell from Dungog and I tracked
Tracked
her. I tracked her. I tracked her to multiple addresses and I found her. The excuse I got was he escaped while she was driving him to the pound
Yes.
to surrender him.
Dungog.
Dungog is 25, 35 minutes this way.
Yeah.
So she's come all the way past the pound, bye-bye, to another 25 minutes where he escaped the car in 3 or 4 suburbs away.
Yes. Oh, and you said you didn't ring and report
You didn't
your
report
lost dog.
the dog missing. You didn't say it was. She said, well, who would I report it to? And I said, do you think maybe the council or the pound?
The pound she was taking it
She
to.
said, to who?
Yes.
So, liar, liar, pants on fire, number 4.
All right, a person's coming. I'm going to...
We've got one more thing.
I think it's Pete. Yep.
Now, where are we up to?
Liar number 4.
Liar, liar, pants on fire, number 4.
Mm.
Had a phone call to say that she found 6 kittens in the bush. They'd come out of the bush.
And hang on, she was from Beresfield, but they were in Thornton, weren't they?
Correct.
Mm.
So Beresfield is Newcastle City Council, Thornton is my council.
Mm-hmm. Convenient.
Convenient. So she came over with said kittens and they were about 4.5, they're about 4 weeks old.
Mm.
But when she came here, she told me there was 5. So Janien got her to fill in 5 lots of paperwork.
Yep.
When Leanne went to get them, there was 4.
She even said, oh, as if one had escaped in the car or something. I don't know
Yes.
what's going on.
So then I said, I thought you said there was 5. I miscounted.
And originally there were 6, though.
I know. She's told another rescue who she contacted that there was 6. She told me there was 6 on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Got here and said there was 5. Go to the car and there's 4.
Yeah, that's a big...
Not her cat, doesn't know. So I started to query the husband. This is him. I'm thinking, and of course, they said that they fed the kittens cow's milk. And we said, you can't feed kittens cow's milk, they get sick. I don't know, I don't have cats or kittens, I don't know. Here they are in a cat carrier. Said, oh, you've got a cat carrier. So, to the husband. I said, sir, are these your cats? And he's looking at it like this.
Yeah, he then mumbles. He was mumbling.
I said, sir, you're about to do some paperwork, and if you lie, I'll find out. They're not mine. Well, do you know who they are, sir? Sir, I'm going to ask you again. You're going to commit to a form. Are these your kittens? I'll give you one opportunity. Let me just go talk to her, and I just need to go talk to my partner. She comes in. What's the problem? I found them. So they're not yours. No. You've got a cat carrier. Yeah, I've got 2 cats. And a dog. You told me you had no cats, and that's why you didn't know that they couldn't have milk. She said to the ranger and myself, why am I being questioned? The ranger said, because we investigate everything. All strays get investigated. And I said, yes, that's right, isn't it, Ranger? And he said, yes, it is. She goes, I would never lie. No, don't like things like that. And off she went on a merry way. So I did my investigation. Today we've had a confirmation that they're her sister's cats. And she said, well, what was she supposed to do about it? What was it? You don't rat out a relative?
No, that's right.
I said, I asked you to tell me the truth and I would try and help you. Well, what do you want me to do? I said, tell the truth. Your children are there. You need to teach them about telling the truth. It's family. You don't rat out family. I'm like, you don't take kittens away from their mother at 4 weeks of age. Apparently the mother is, we don't know where the mother is actually.
I don't think she's
I
ever
don't even
mentioned.
think we got to the bottom of that.
No.
Other than that she's the relative can't look after herself, yet alone the animals.
Yes, that's right.
So she was doing a solid, and maybe she was. But it's nice for us to know the truth.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's been a week of liar, liar, pants on fire, isn't it?
And guess what?
What?
I'll think of it while I'm in China, but there'll be another week next week probably full of liar, liar, pants on fire as well.
I know, that'll be...
They don't go away.
They don't. Every single week we have a liar.
At least one.
Oh, I think it's usually more than one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, that's the week that was. Janine's
It's not the week that was. That's just I'm sad. We haven't done happy.
Oh, I forgot.
The best part of the week that was the...
I'm sorry. Okay.
So I can use that happy picture I use, because I use a different one to Tani.
I know. Is it the one there I'm wearing a barmaid?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that
they
one.
They had so much fun making that stuff.
See, Tani doesn't use that one. I always use that one.
You know what? They like to torture me. I think, oh my God, why do they use that one? And of course it's Janine using that one.
I always use that one.
So, happy adoptions and rescues. So I'm going to go with the rescue first.
Because it has been a bit quiet with this sort of thing.
It has. We've had a very quiet week. Rescues was Winnie the Lab, the one that was driven past the pound to be surrendered to the pound, but found another 25-30 minutes that way. So he's gone to Lab Rescue. He was very excited to see the crew from Lab Rescue, and
I'm not surprised.
They were great. They jumped to
He's a lab cross kelpie.
Yeah.
Remember they said?
Well, he's chipped as a lab cross retriever.
Yeah, they don't know what he was, but
yeah. But you know,
he
was a beautiful boy.
Oh, he's going to be good when he's got some training. That's all. He just needs some training.
We had one dog adoption.
Yay! Everyone surely knows this one.
This is Scooter, who is now Clancy. So our man-hating cattle dog
was gaga for this guy.
Fell for a man.
As soon as he saw this guy, he was like, ah!
So we had
Love you.
Mike from Cessnock City Council come in, and Mike's a really lovely ranger, and we said to Mike, can we use you as a guinea pig? And Mike's like, sure, what do you want?
Mike will do anything.
Yeah, I said, can we introduce you to a man-hating dog? And he's like, sure.
He probably thought I meet them every day.
And he said, maybe you better take your vest off, Mike, because sometimes the vest can make dogs a bit funny. Mike's like, you know what, let's just go in for it. Scooter loved Mike as well. Mike was playing a ball with Scooter.
But what did you say to Mike about, sometimes he likes to upset poor Mike?
I said to Mike, he doesn't seem to like the blokey blokes. And Mike's like, nice.
Yeah, so he's a girly bloke. That's lovely. Poor Mike.
I didn't mean it like
no,
that.
but that's how Mike took it.
Yeah. So we've had 2 cat adoptions this week. The first one was Todd. And that is one of the cats that Tani stiffed me with.
Yeah.
You know, the one that she
slowly going
outside her window, that they were going to adopt.
Yes, they were. He was the one they wanted.
Her husband, Chris, wanted to adopt.
Very unusual looking face.
Very. Actually, he's doing very well. And you know what? When you look at the video of, they've sent us
their
an
other
update,
cats, very funny looking too.
They are so similar that at first glance you couldn't tell who was Todd and who was their cat.
Their cat looked a bit like Adler a fair bit too. So they like that unusual looking markings.
And they've changed his name to Tio.
Tio.
Now the third, the second cat adoption and the third adoption for the week was Miss Polly, our feral cat from the street who's 9 years old. The one that
Grumbles and her
love
hate.
Sallyport. She loves Grumbles.
Grumbles is just Grumbles, I guess.
She follows him everywhere. He beats her up sometimes. I think the thing with Polly was, you know, when the vet said she's got a mouthful of broken teeth and her jaw is misaligned now because someone's obviously kicked her in the face. And
then that flu that she had.
She nearly died with the cat flu and everything like that. And so I'm not one that goes gaga over puppies and designer dogs. I'm the one that the animal that's down and out, the one that is broken, the ones that nobody wants, you know, because I know puppies and designer dogs, everybody wants them, and baby kittens and stuff like that. My heart is the ones that are rejected. They've been cruel. People have been cruel to them, and their spirit has been really seriously hurt by someone in the human race. That's my type of animal, you know.
And that's all Polly.
It's Polly, you know.
Polly.
To think that somebody was so cruel to her, no one's ever going to be cruel to that cat again. So you will see that I've adopted Polly.
Yay! I've heard.
She's my baby. I love her very much.
Well, she is your baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's definitely Dee's baby. I did pat her though.
She's my baby. I can kiss her. I can cuddle her. I can do anything with her.
The rest of us can't.
No one else can. No. Not even Don. But no one's ever going to hurt that cat again.
No.
And
she's feisty with the other dogs, isn't she? She'll give them the biggest.
She's learning Grumble's ways.
Oh, poor dogs.
Don't worry, these are tears of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Tears of joy because, you know, she nearly got euthanized.
Oh, because she was feisty and then she was sick.
Feisty,
That's
and then
sick.
She got so sick.
She was blowing bubbles from her nostrils when she was trying to breathe.
She wasn't eating. She was dropping weight, and I forced her to eat. I put my hands in her mouth and forced her. They
developed a bond over that.
You
two, didn't you?
Yeah. And I believe that when I went on holidays and she was here, she missed me. Patsy.
Yes.
Everybody said she really.
She was like looking for you.
Looking for me.
When we go in the kitchen, she'd be looking. But she's come a long way because, like I said, I videoed myself. Actually, I can give her a bit of a scruff now.
Yeah.
So she's making moves.
Yeah.
They're very, very slow.
Yeah. And so I have a thing. All my animals that I've owned, whether or not they've passed away, I have a tattoo on the back of my leg to always remember. And my saying is, family is everything. And on that list is my current animals and ones that have passed away. And so it was only fitting that while I was up in Queensland, I had to go and see my tattooist, and Polly's name was added to my leg, which makes it official.
Was he a bit like, is that it? Just this?
You know what?
It's such a tiny little name.
Do you know what he said to me? You need one more, D, because the line is uneven.
Yes, well, I'm sure
And
that'll
I went,
happen eventually.
No, that's it for me.
You said that with Thomas, though, didn't you?
I did say it with Thomas, you know.
And there's Polly, and then,
you know, it's the underdog thing for me. And, you know, some of the animals on my leg are feral cats that I took out of my first pound.
Yeah, I can think of another cat that might end up there.
And my second pound.
On your leg.
Because I couldn't do what they wanted me to do, you know, or what was expected with feral animals. To me, they're trying to survive, you know. And so these cats, a lot of them were pregnant cats, and so the kittens all got adopted and rehab, and I couldn't return the mums. I just couldn't, you know. They deserved to have a life. And some of them, Smokey and George, they were feral kittens that I pulled from Renbury Pound when Renbury was operating.
I don't even know Renbury.
It was one of the biggest pounds down. So Don and I have been rescuing for a lot of years. A lot of years we've been in rescue.
Did cats, didn't
we
you?
did. We were a cat rescue. And we could not turn these two cats to safely rehome them. And Smokey and George ended up being best buds. So, you know, it was just a no-brainer. They stayed together. And unfortunately, we put them in for dentals down with our vet on the Central Coast. And one of them developed cancer.
Oh.
Ended up having mouth cancer pop up about 4 or 5 months after the dental. So the cancer came on very rapidly. No, I don't even think it was that much. I think it might have only been 3 months or 2 months, something like that. And I really think that George died of a broken heart because he wasn't the same when Smokey passed away. Both boys have been cremated, and they sit in on our buffet in our lounge room.
And that's where Polly would, not on the buffet, but Polly would have been in with that ferals group. That's where Polly would have been.
But, you know, anyway, so I'm very happy to say that is the week that was.
Oh, but hang on. I'll be putting up some photos at the end of this, of Dee getting said tattoo, and to show you her tattoos.
Yeah.
Not all her tattoos, just these names.
Yeah. No, not all my tattoos.
Not all of them. We don't have that long.
And I've actually even think I might even have a photo of Polly in bed with me. I don't know. I'll have to have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good.
Anyway, guys, that's the week that was. Thanks for joining us. And you'll see Janine in
about 3 weeks.
In about 3 weeks. She should be able to speak Chinese and cook Chinese by the time she comes back.
For sure. I'll be so fit too, and I'll be half my size because I'll be doing so much exercise and walking, and it's going to be hot.
And she has to do cooking classes while she's over there because when she comes back, she needs to cook
I'm
for us.
sure I'll have time for that.
You could do Sunday Sangas, where I do Sunday Sangas and desserts.
We could just have fried rice.
We might be able to pick a Thursday or Friday where they have Chinese from Janine.
Good Lord.
Anyway, guys, bye for now.
Bye. Good boy, Paul. You going to let me do it again? Hello, darling. Good girl.